Investigates starts right now. What is up, my beautiful goats? How's it going, Christy Chicken Tender, Kimber Wells, Angel Sutton, True Be You, Kim Sta, Risa Joe, Jolene, Nanette, the old gray goat. What is up, brother? Rachel. We've got people in the house tonight. It's gonna be a good one. All right, let's go. Mrs. MAB. Hello, C. Michael. What's up, Adam? What's shaking?
You had a treat.
Honey?
Dog wants another treat.
That's all he's been eating is treats.
Hey, dreaming blue skies, sandy beaches, chicken tender, Jody Lynn.
Dog's kind of feeling better, but he's still falling down.
Yeah, he's gonna be okay. We thought he was dying.
Yeah.
So he's not dying.
Hey, Sylvie, what's up?
He's not dying. Hi, Risa Joe.
He's good.
Rachel.
So, I got some interesting information to share with you guys.
Did Lucas eat his supper? Well, he'll only eat meat if you put it on the floor.
Yeah.
And then he eats it.
Raw ground bison is the only thing he's eating.
But he's eating.
Oh no, Jack and Lily, it's been a whole year.
Oh my gosh, really?
True to you. Golf pucks and hockey pucks. What is that? Woof woof Lucas, yeah.
Woofy woo.
Oh, my little bubba.
Debbie Holcomb,
Deborah.
Amanda. Got your gardening, thanks.
Justin Investigates.
Keisha.
Why don't you go tap in on your iPad?
I might do that.
Get Mrs. Mabs in here so we can figure out what's going on.
Your neon.
You can't see it through the background. I have a green screen now, but I haven't set it up
I'll
yet.
turn it on anyway, just in case.
All right. It's easy to see who got the looks. Yeah, right. Mrs. Mab's got the good looking side of the ball game there. Howdy, Mrs. Mabs from warm Anna, Texas. Anna, Texas. Hello. All right, let's get rolling here.
Honey, I can't do it through my iPad because I don't have passwords.
You don't know your password?
It's making me. Well, I don't know. I
Here,
don't.
talk to the people for a second.
Because I don't.
Talk to your people for a second. I'll get your code.
It's making me do some stupid password thing, and I don't know my Facebook password because I set it up like 20 years ago, and I don't remember. And then it asked me to sign in through YouTube, and I don't think I have a YouTube password. And if I do, I don't know what it is. So I don't know what my passwords are. Do you guys know what your passwords are? I've got to write them down. I have a book of passwords. Holy moly. From Frostbite Falls. Mrs. Matt planted my mandevilla today. What's a mandevilla? What?
Your password for Gmail.
Oh, he wants my Gmail password. Oh, that I think I know. I'll be right back. My Gmail password. I'll give it a shot. Elkhorn, California. I remembered my passwords. Most of my passwords, yeah. A lot of them are the same, but sometimes they're not because they make me change them. And then it has to be something so bizarre that I have to write it down. Hey, Lassie, Cotton Candy, Patriot Pride, Lady JJ for life. Oh, Lady JJ. My mom's name was JJ. Not really, but that's what she went by for like 30 years. So, Rachel,
right.
Same.
You're all set up.
Same.
She's a little bit challenged on the technology side.
Did you call me challenged?
Yeah, I gotta close the door.
Can you believe that?
Oh, we've been
I'm
planting,
not challenged. Just 'cause
we've
I'm
been
not as
planting
smart
flowers
as you.
all day.
Nobody's as smart as MAB. Oh. Shoot, I had my headphones on. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I had my headphones plugged in, so. Anyhow, and I
What's
got
up, Mrs. Mab?
crazy hair because I didn't wash my hair after we gardened.
She's fine. Come on, man. Oh boy. So we have a
Doggo's
show.
panting. So I think Lucas does have the
Vestibular.
vestibular thing because he's holding his head to the side a little bit. Just a little bit. But he's doing it.
Well, I hope it
And
goes
he's looking at
away.
me because he's right outside your door.
Amen, Kimston. She's a doll. She's a doll. Yeah, she needs a microphone. She actually needs a studio. We actually need a studio so we can be together in the same room with a green screen, which is sitting on my couch right now. I haven't had time to put it up because we're planting flowers all day. Because I just got her flower pots ready, or flower pots, her gigantic flower thingy in front of the house. I just got it done a couple days ago, and now we're planting it all day, and we're still not done.
Yeah,
Wow.
we like hardly touched it.
So this is a trippy interview one of the subs sent. Thank you very much, whoever you sent that in. I could probably tell you. Yeah, I'm not worried about it right now. I'll tell you later. Anyway, here's the video. Let me share the screen. Check this out.
We show you surveillance photos like these all the time, and maybe you recognize the person in the video, but
Turn it up a little.
even about your own child.
Yeah, that's really true. And tonight, we actually show you a stunning local case that will make you scratch your head a little bit and wonder if what you just saw was indeed real.
And it also illuminates what prosecutors say is a real problem. Eyewitness accounts. They say they're so.
Who does that look like there? Looks like a black dude in sunglasses to me. Be robbing banks, right? Giant.
So unreliable, they may just be the worst kind of evidence.
In 2010, he held up multiple tri-state banks, and the surveillance video hit probably every newscast in Cincinnati.
It's something you would see in a Hollywood movie. I don't think any of us has seen anybody do anything like this.
Talks about killing cops.
This is the bank robber.
We believe to be an African-American male.
Hamilton County prosecutor Joe Dieter says people were convinced they knew this guy.
We had it on video.
There's the video. There he is, right there.
Pointed at the same guy, the same house. They were sure it was this man.
Looks just like him.
We put out a Crime Stoppers tip, and we got about 5 or 6, 7 phone calls. I know that guy. He lives on this street. He lives in this particular house. And when the detectives went to that house, they knocked on the door. His mom answered it. She said, "I know why you're here. I just saw on television my son robbing a bank."
I just saw my son robbing a bank, she says. A mama never forgets her son's face, does she?
This is that woman's son. Take a look. He looks incredibly like the guy in the surveillance video. Police took the son, whose identity we were not given, into custody. Then they got a call from another woman who said they had the wrong guy, that it was her boyfriend who robbed the bank. And this
I sent Mrs. MAB an email of the plant, MAB. Okay, gotcha.
is her boyfriend, Conrad Zerdiak.
Actual
That's the guy right there. Conrad Zodiac. And he ain't a black dude.
perpetrator was white as could be. He had bought a theatrical mask from Beverly Hills, which cost a few $1,000s. And it's very lifelike. And he had it on. And it looks like the guy they called Crime Stoppers about.
I mean, his mom said
His mother said it.
he did it.
Mama said, he did it. It's him. That's my son, the black guy. He lived with me all my life.
Did it. It looked just like her son.
Sunglasses covered Zerdiak's blue eyes. Gloves covered his hands.
That just tells you don't believe what you see all the time.
Do you see where we're going with this, huh?
Because you could be dead wrong.
Joe Dieters will no longer take one person's word for it, ever since this man was wrongly imprisoned for rape based on one person's identification.
You can't rely solely on identification. It's a recipe for some type of disaster. And I think a disaster is an innocent person in prison.
He says eyewitness accounts are the worst kind of evidence.
I would consider identification as one piece of evidence.
You need DNA, right? DNA.
Or fingerprints.
Would be the only piece of evidence.
Well, Conrad Zerdiak will be in prison for that robbery and other robberies until 2035. And we want to show you something. The prosecutor let us borrow this.
It's Mrs. MAD, perfectly me. That's my wife.
This is the mask used in that
Gotta come closer to the camera, dear.
crime. It has been
I don't
sitting at
want
my
to.
desk now for about a week, freaking
Why not? You're beautiful.
everyone out.
The whole newsroom's been
Yeah, I
talking
mean,
about
it's unbelievably lifelike.
So anybody can just buy a mask like this. It doesn't look very highly sophisticated. I could probably make it with silicone. I don't know what his last name was. What was it?
And the poor guy who just happened to look like it did nothing wrong.
Right.
Absolutely nothing wrong. But this thing, you can look him up. You can buy him $several $100s,
Right.
thousands
And there
of
are
dollars.
several cases actually across the
What did you say his name was?
One piece of evidence. It should never be the only piece of evidence.
I mean, his mom said
His mother said it.
he did it.
He did it. It looked just like her son.
Sunglasses covered Zerdiak's blue eyes. Gloves
Zerdiak.
Zodiac, not Zodiac. All right. That's crazy, right?
Cray.
It is thought that people are using these types of masks
Hollywood masks.
to get away with crimes. Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
really, really
I'll
remarkable.
attest to the creepy part. I'll
It
tell you
does.
that
Sure
much.
is.
Very
But
realistic.
it does also
yeah.
question, like, you got to question what you see. Did you really see that? His mom thought it was
Yeah,
him
how
and
about
it
that?
wasn't.
We show you surveillance.
There you go. Now what do we say about Porch Guy? How the hell do we know who the hell it is now? Geez. Without DNA, right?
Right.
I've heard people say, and I've even said myself, I think there's a mask under the mask. And you can't tell his body proportion because he has so much clothing on. I think he has a hoodie under the mask that's stuffed up in the mask in the back. And he's got these big ass gloves. I mean, damn. You still say RN? Could be RN. Could be Ronald Lopez. Could be Luke Daly.
Could be tomato.
Could be tomato. Could be Materhead. Could be Kalela, secret mutilator. I mean,
none of them.
could be none of them. Could be none of them. It's crazy, right, Keisha? I'm going to open up the phone lines if you guys got anything to say on this. All right. I put the phone number there. No, that's not the right one.
That's the email.
I don't even have it. Something happened to my YouTube thingy because it's not working. I mean,
That's
my
weird.
phone number disappeared. Now I got to make a new one.
Huh.
Create a banner.
You have a new email, MAB Investigates.gmail. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. All right.
All right, got it. I just made a banner. And there it is. The lines are open. Let me share the screen. That's how we do it. Eventually, I'm going to be able to. What are you doing, honey?
I was just looking at something.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
You're in the show. Anyway, give us a call if you want. Now, can I play? I want to be able to play videos and, excuse me, and have a call-in show at the same time. How do I do that?
I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. But
Call me. Somebody call me.
I want to step out.
Really?
Yeah.
Mrs. MAB wants to quit already. Just started. She always wants to quit. All right, Mrs. MAB, I'm booting your ass.
I'll come back in if I want to talk some more.
It's just me, guys. You're just going to have to suck it up. All right. Let's look at comments. Hello, MAB Investigates.
Hi, I have a question for you.
What's the question, darling?
For the game of Mahjong, there has to be 4 players. Who was the 4th player?
Were they playing Mahjong the night they had that dinner party?
Correct.
Who was the 4th player? I don't know. It's a good question.
It's the only question I had, Mab. Great show.
Thank you.
Welcome.
That's it? Okay. What happened to my, there? StreamYard sucks. I thought Mrs. MAB was back and now she's gone again. Oh well. Phones are still up. All right. OBS. I'll have to try OBS. Is it free? MAB Investigates. Who are you? Where are you calling from?
Hello, Mr. Mab.
Hello.
Hey, this is Mike, West Virginia.
What's going on, brother?
How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Well, has anybody ever thought about they put her in a nursing home or put her in witness protection?
I have. In fact, that was one of my main theories, is that she's alive and she's being hidden.
Yeah, that's why nobody's worried about her. Her family seems like they're not worried.
Well, nobody's searching. Nobody really.
That's right. Yeah.
You don't search what's not missing, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's what I believe.
Well, that's one of my main theories.
I believe that they got her in witness protection at least from the Epstein deal.
Yep. I agree, because Epstein's out and so is Ghislaine. Neither one of them has passed on, and they're both on the streets right now.
Yeah, there's no body to find.
That's right. I mean, the guy that they autopsied had a prostate, and Epstein didn't have a prostate, so it couldn't have been him.
Right.
Yeah. Crazy.
That's right. And but if everything did happen, I'm looking at that cult. If she did go missing, actually.
What cult?
Where the woman and the guy went in front of Nancy's house and took pictures of themselves.
Oh, that was what, the Kiki?
Yeah, Kiki.
That's not really a cult. She's a OnlyFans model.
Right.
Does true crime stories.
They have a whole big cult.
Do you got evidence of that?
Well, it was on, I forget who that was, not JRL, but who was that? Well, he had a big, I thought you had it on there at one time too. Because they had that DJ, and also Tommaso is also in that cult.
You're talking about DJ Mojito, Kale Day, Secret Mutilator, those guys?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. There are Satanists in circle of people, but Kiki was not one of them.
Oh, she is not?
No, I don't think so.
She's the one that was taking pictures with that guy, right? In front of Nancy's.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
I've been on her OnlyFans, but in order to watch it, you can watch the true crime videos, but if you want to subscribe, you got to sign up for OnlyFans, which I'm not doing.
Yeah.
This man would kill me if I did that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm still going with the Epstein file because the family is not that much worried. They should be out talking to the YouTubers and the.
Mike, what about this, man? You find out from Cameron, who was in military intelligence, and once you're in military intelligence, you really aren't never out of military intelligence.
Right.
So he gets word that Nancy's in danger because somebody wants to punish Savannah. So they get her out of town to the French Riviera or wherever the hell they went. She's alive and well, living out her last 6 or 7, 8 years, whatever it is. And they end up getting a $100 million book deal, $100 million record deal. Everybody writes books and makes a shit ton of money. And at the same time, saves her mother's life. It saves her mother's life all at the same time. That's what.
Yeah, because she's got a new book coming out soon, don't she?
I don't know about that. I haven't seen it.
Savannah does.
Beltane Wiccan Day was May 1st. Beltane. I don't even know what the hell that is.
Well, that was yesterday then, wasn't it?
Yeah. Hey, electric sauce.
But that's what I'm going with. But if she actually got adopted, I believe that it was that circle.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it all points back to.
I appreciate your call, man.
Yeah. I'll call back some other time there, bud.
All right, brother.
All right. See you later.
All right, brother. Peace.
Bye. Peace.
There you have it. He's going with Einstein and that she's alive. What do y'all think about that? Damn. Hit the damn like button. Hit the subscribe button. You know what to do. I'm not going to ask you a million times. Maybe if I did, I'd have more subs, but I just can't bring myself to do it. I'll ask once in a while, but I don't really care how many subs I got because I'm going to do this shit anyway. So it doesn't really matter. So let's get into this. Well, the phone lines are open. How do I want to make one. I think I can make a new scene with 3 people. Let's try this. Oh, that ain't gonna work. Let's see. How do I make one of them really, really tiny? No, that's not it. Let's see. I can make a new one. New layout. Add item. Dynamic camera grid. Phone call. MAB Investigates. Who are you? Where's
Hey, I'm gonna help you out real quick, Maps.
All right.
You trying to talk to people and share the screen at the same time?
Well, I'm trying to get.
All right, set up a panel. Bring about 2 or 3 people up there with you, and then share your screen.
On the phone calls.
No, you're gonna have to do it on the computer.
Trying to be able to have the phone lines open while I'm watching another video.
Okay, do it how you want to. I was just trying to tell you how it would be easier because you can mute the people on the panel while the video is playing.
Yeah, I can do that. You're right. But
you got somebody in the chat saying it's an elderly woman missing in Tucson right now.
A what?
It's an elderly woman in Tucson missing right now in her pajamas.
Really?
I think the lady's name is V-Miss in the chat. Ask her where she gets her information from.
V-Miss?
V as in Victor, M-I-S-S.
Gotcha. Call in, V-Miss.
But that's the best way I could suggest it. I just want to tell you that.
All right. Well, thank you very much, dear.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. I'll talk to you soon. There you have it. Let's see if I can do this. The add item. Media slot. Camera slot. What the hell is the difference between a media slot and a media slot? Okay, let's make this tiny because that's my phone lines. And now we can do another media slot. Oh, camera slot. MAB Investigates. Another media slot. Camera slot. So now we can have 2 people up here and the phones. Let's do another one. Oh, I see. It's dynamic camera grids, I think might be better. Let's see. that's me. I can't do that. Hold on. I want this one over here. What the hell's going on? MAB Investigates. Who are you and where are you calling from?
Don't act like Dolly. My name is Brendan. I'm in Wisconsin, Mabster.
All right, Brandon, what's on your mind, brother?
I just can't, talking about the Nancy Guthrie case,
Yeah.
I just can't get away from the family. I just can't. And I have tried and tried to keep an open mind and try to be fair about everything.
Yeah.
That sheriff in that town, he needs to be, I don't know. He should have never been sheriff there because he ain't got a lick of sense.
Right.
He's as dumb as a bucket of nails.
All right, I got it.
But what do you think, Mad? Can you get away from the family or no?
Yes. The only other way
Okay.
to get the family is if you go with the Einstein theory. Because otherwise, well, we've got people like we've heard of, like Richard Nolette. And now we've got a new one, Kale. And we're going to get into Kale a little bit tonight, too.
Okay. Okay.
Kale's a new,
I've got an open mind.
yeah, Kale's a new guy a woman he worked with, and he talked about actually kidnapping Nancy Guthrie for $6 million to make her invest in an app that he was building.
Is that the one that was talking to Dolly the other night?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I got a hold of her, and she's probably here right now.
I know there's a lot going around and a lot being said. Bless that woman's heart. I just wish so bad that they would find her, you know?
I do too.
This is so sad.
Yeah.
I just lost my boyfriend of 10 years
10
yesterday.
years? Died?
10 years. Yeah, he died.
That's so sad. I'm sorry to hear.
He fought a hard battle, but it's rough. And I just can't. I mean, his was medical.
Right.
Nancy's wasn't.
Yeah.
And I feel so sorry for that family. And then, like I said, I tried to have an open mind.
Right.
Mad about, you know, different scenarios. What could have happened? Why would it happen? And everything. And everybody started from very get-go that it absolutely, even her brother, said that he thinks Savannah had something to do with it, or her job, or something like that.
Yeah.
From get-go, they started that.
It had to be that.
What if it absolutely 100% has nothing to do with her whatsoever?
I don't see how it can't have something to do with her.
Well, maybe not.
Go and
Look at some of that. Well, just listen to me for just a minute, okay?
Okay. Go ahead.
The only reason I'm saying this, like I said, I'm trying to keep an open mind.
All right.
Let's say, for giggles, let's say Savannah had nothing with it at all. Okay?
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with her. What would your next thing, what would you think? Would it still be any part of the family or just a random person?
If it didn't have anything to do with the family?
No, if it had nothing at all to do with Savannah.
Oh, then it would be just some crazy bitch that had gerontophilia. In other words, they're attracted to older women, which
Yeah.
which is a thing, but it's very, very rare.
Yeah, there was a older lady. She was, I think, 87 or 88. And this was years ago in Kentucky.
Yeah.
She lived by the railroad track in Richmond, Kentucky. And somebody broke in her house, hard her. And when they did the autopsy on her, there was rocks in her stomach.
Damn.
Yeah.
Made her eat rocks.
No. They was up the other place.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
They said that whoever did that was the most cruelest person they ever met or would never want to meet in their life. Well, they found out who done it. 24-year-old boy said that she had invited him into her bed.
I can't believe it.
He got the death penalty.
Good.
He didn't last long though, because they couldn't prove it, and they really didn't want to prove it, so they really didn't investigate it.
Right.
But I think it was within 2 months that man lost his life in prison.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But they said that woman absolutely suffered the most horrific murder they had ever had in Kentucky.
That's bizarre, man. I appreciate the info.
That was a bad one. So yeah, it's and from my understanding from what they talked about from that investigation, that a lot of times men that are attracted to older women, like you said, they get that fantasy that woman is in love with them. And that's just a fantasy. That's not reality.
Who's the woman?
And they just get to the point where they just can't control themselves no more. And they go berserk. And that's when the women lose their life.
Yeah, thanks, whoever. What happened? Did she raped up her? Yeah, we're going to have to watch the language there, Charger, all day. It's a little much. Yeah, that's crazy. I appreciate the call,
but I just for some reason, I don't know that Savannah is involved. And if it isn't, I honestly think it has something to do with Tomas and Annie.
Thanks, Charger.
I just cannot get away from them.
It could very well have something to do with Tommaso and Annie. I mean, they were playing at the same venues as Kale with Secret Mutilator, DJ Mojito. That goes in.
Yeah. And then you can't tell me that they didn't know each other and didn't run into each other. That just wouldn't happen.
Same DJ, same promoter, same venues. I mean, they had to know each other, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I thank you for your time, Mab, and you have a good evening.
All right.
Hugs to your wife.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Dodson became a new member. How do I do that widget thing? There's things you can do, like yay. You can make those. I guess I have to get hot buttons for that. I need one of those mixers. Have you heard about? Do you have a photo of the perp? Yes, I have a photo of Kale on my thumbnail. Even he's on there. Yeah, the fetish balls with Kale hanging by the hooks. I had all that stuff. When I was playing Sleuth Video, that was crazy. they're all chained up, and I guess it's supposed to be good, better than an orgasm, they say. I don't want to try it. I don't want to know. Y'all can take it and run with it. I don't want anything to do with that shit. Let me just share these on the, I'm getting used to these comments. Let's see. I can do stuff with comments too. I can say wide. Oh, tall. Let's do that. Tall. Regular. Let's do tall. All right. And here we go. Uh-oh. Okay, that's done. Gotcha. All right. We're back. Thanks, Tammy Hollis. I've been with Dolly for like almost 5 years. That's all right. The early to his 2066. Do you guys hate that they changed our names to all these damn numbers and shit? I'm still pissed off about that. I've always been MAB Investigates, and then they changed it, and it was like MAB.investigates.true crime. Something something. So I just changed it to MAB.investigates. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy. So the calls are still open. We're going to get into this. Please show the proof. I don't have any proof of anything. This channel is about theories, speculation. Everybody has an opinion. We're not talking about facts. We have no solid evidence that anybody did anything. And if we did, they'd be in jail, right? I'd hope. But I don't think any of us have evidence. I changed my name, I know, Keisha. Because you used to be Keisha Sheets. And I still remember it. That's why I call you that. Hey, Kim. Good to see you, darling. The Bear Panty Show. Oh, Pantry. Oh, I claimed I must have been the only MAB Investigates because I didn't have to put numbers or anything. But I've had that. No, I haven't had. I've had the channel since 2014, but I renamed it. It used to be called Variable Valve because I had an invention that was a variable valve. Charger, come on, man. Gotta lighten up a little bit there, brother. Oh, Lord. All right. There's another video that this motive, means, opportunity, crew time, intuition, psychic. You guys want to hear some psychic shit? I think it starts at like, it's mostly just bullshit until it gets to 58 seconds, I thought it was. Where's my little notebook? Let me grab my little notebook. I'll be right back. Ugh. I gotta get this green screen hung up tomorrow morning and see if it works. The Bear Pantry Show. I thought it was the Bear Panty Show. Oh my God. Sign me up. Just kidding. 5801 is where I was going to start this video. 52, you know, right around here. I had it on some quick play so I could listen to it before I went live. Let's go on this. Share the screen. So why can't I share two freaking screens? I don't like it. Don't like it at all. extra camera, video file, image file, size PBS. I guess we'll have to, phones will be off. Well, I can still answer them. I got my phone here so we can do it on speaker. That works. All right. Let's get into this one here. Psychic. I don't like that. That's better.
And I get out of my car. I take photographs up and down the street. The reason is I don't know what cars belong there and what don't. I don't know who parks on the street normally, who's in a driveway, etc. They can go back with that Tesla video and see if there's somebody parked on the side of the road.
Be bold enough to do that to Nancy Grace. I'm going to put dollars to donuts that it was also NBC. But let's watch what Nancy Grace had to say. And let me know in the comments below if you were like me watching Nancy Grace Friday night's premiere when all of a sudden the video went poof, unavailable. And then hours later, Nancy Grace had to do what I did and upload hers again. Now, I didn't make one iota of a change because I addressed it to NBC on my post to my video. I don't know if Nancy Grace edited hers, so I can't say.
She's 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. And every hour and minute and second and every long night has been agony since then. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. We need your help.
What a difference a DoorDash, an Uber, a delivery, a Lyft can make. Do you remember in Brian Kohberger's prosecution after the murders of 4 beautiful University of Idaho students?
And now we have to testify. Make her case too, so yeah, because I'm a DoorDash driver, so yeah.
You have to testify in which murder?
Murder case with college girl.
Oh.
My DoorDash driver is up right here.
She's the DoorDash driver that saw Brian at the house. Oh Lord. She parked right next to him. That's scary. Bam. No, she's talking about Brian Kohberger.
Yeah, take that, Kohberger, busted by the DoorDash delivery woman. To Joseph Scott Morgan joining us, professor of forensics, Jacksonville State University, the author of Blood.
What's the Wiccan holiday? What are they celebrating? Church! What up? When are you putting on the damn Speedo?
Beneath My Feet on Amazon, star of a hit podcast, Body Bags with Joe Scott Morgan. But for our purposes, he is a death investigator with over 10,000 investigations under his belt. Joe Scott Morgan, do you remember in Kohberger, Eyewitness, DoorDash delivery person, identifies Kohberger as being outside the murder scene, 1122 King Road, at the time of the murders, 4 o'clock in the morning. Really? Busted.
And
now, in this case, go ahead.
All right, VMS. Gotcha. Gotcha. I gotcha.
No, I was going to say, I'm reflecting back right now. You could have knocked me over with a feather when we got that footage. Do you remember that? Because we didn't know that existed. And all of a sudden, and all it takes, Nancy, is just one little turn of the screw, right? Something that we're not completely aware of. And then all of a sudden, boom, the narrative completely changes, or at least the narrative is more clear. And I think we might be headed down this road with Mrs. Guthrie, Nancy.
We have just learned that in the Celeste Rivas case, where D4VD, aka David Anthony Burke, is now charged in her murder and her dismemberment of this then 13-year-old little girl. Don't show me him. I've seen him enough. I don't care if I ever see him again. The Tesla. Every Tesla has 360-degree visual.
So they should have been able to see David or whoever put her in that trunk because it's cameras, right? Has to be, right? Just like they, yeah.
Unless it's been destroyed. In this case, see how valuable that is in the Celeste Rivas case? In this case, no one until a few days ago has been looking at around that Uber delivery, that Uber drive. So what, if anything, can we learn, Joe Scott Morgan?
From the Uber driver, you ought to be able to learn what Nancy was wearing, what time he picked her up, go to Tommy's house, Tomato Head's house, what she was wearing, how she was walking, what conversation they had, when he dropped them off, all the demeanor and everything, right?
Well, certainly directionality. You know, what route was taken, and also, look, as an old investigator, I want to know as much as I possibly can about the driver. You know, that they have an awareness of.
Stop everything. Jody Lynn just became a new member. I need a hotkey for this. Media assets. Yay! Jody Lynn. Right on. That's crazy. All right. Here we go.
Of her, maybe who she is, this sort of thing. Were they followed in any way? I think. And so any kind of players that might be involved in this peripheral, look, we'll take anything, right? We'll take absolutely anything relative to the data that can be sourced. Where did this individual go before? Okay, he picked up Mrs. Guthrie. Where did he go after he picked up Mrs. Guthrie? I want to know everything about it in granular detail, Nancy.
And by the way, this is day 91 of the Nancy Guthrie missing abduction.
From what we can tell, there was intense planning of the kidnap of Mrs. Guthrie. So what we're getting at is when he picked up Mrs. Guthrie to take her to Annie's, we have reason to believe the perp was already in the neighborhood, positioned, waiting, straight
or already inside the house.
Out to Cheryl McCollum joining us, Cold Case Investigative Research Institute founder. She is also a crime scene investigator, and she is the star of a hit podcast, Zone 7. She's author of a brand new book, Swans Don't Swim in a Sewer, Solving the Cold Case of
Sikorsky just became a new member. Yay! There's hotkeys for that, I'm sure. I just press like a 1, 2, or 3, but I ain't got that down yet. Ain't got it down yet. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
The Flint River Killer's Daughter. Amazing book, by the way. Cheryl McCollum, thank you for being with us. We have reason to believe that if when you don't know a horse, Cheryl McCollum, you look at his track record. We already know that Miss Guthrie's kidnapper was there on January 11th. He's caught on video and very likely there on previous occasions. You know, he was in that neighborhood and poised with his accomplice.
I agree.
When Mrs. Guthrie was first picked up and taken to Annie Guthrie's. Many people believe he may have already gotten into her place before Mrs. Guthrie returned home that night.
You know, Nancy, I want to go back to the car first. When I first get to a scene and I get out of my car, I take photographs up and down the street. The reason is I don't know what cars belong there and what don't. I don't know who parks on the street normally, who's in a driveway, etc. They can go back with that Tesla video and see if there's somebody parked on the side of the road, if there's somebody parked in a driveway that doesn't belong. This person we know cased out her home before. You already mentioned the 11th. We think, again on the 20-something and then on the 30th.
I want you to look at this. I'm going to say a couple things here. So there's rumors, I guess, now that they're looking at the Uber driver's cameras in his car on the route that he took to pick.
Why does it do that when I'm changing speeds?
Up Nancy before and dropping Nancy off because they believed that potentially the kidnappers were following the car or waiting to go in to get Nancy. Now, I told you in one of my visions that I saw them, 2 people jumping over that back fence. And in one of my visions that yes, when Nancy got back home, when Tommaso dropped her back off and she went through the garage, that they were waiting for her inside. So I don't know whether or not that Uber driver is connected, but I don't believe he is. I don't get the sense that this Uber driver is connected. And I'm not sure whether or not this Uber driver will pick up a car in waiting for Nancy. But I do actually agree that they were inside the home when Nancy returned at 9:50 at night, because I saw it in my vision.
She saw it in her vision. So it must be true. Well, psychics are hard, right? Because sometimes they might be right and sometimes they might be wrong. And if they were psychic, they already know who did it. Or is psychics just get little visions of partial things and don't really get the whole story, and they just kind of, there was water, there was a telephone pole, it was a dirt road, stuff like that.
But there's another piece I want to talk about, because a couple of you commented that you weren't necessarily understanding or believing that these flowers that were picked up were a message to Savannah.
Now she's trying to say that these flowers, that he picks up the flowers and then smacks them, and that's some kind of signal.
And I'm going to show you one other part about this video. First of all, I reported way back on that there was another person here right in this moment when the kidnapper goes to get those weeds.
Hey, Keisha, send me that. MAB Investigates at gmail.com.
He's looking out at someone else in the background. And for the life of me, I'm really not sure why nobody, mainstream media, Nancy Guthrie, Ashley, when she was covering it, Brian, nobody or any law enforcement picked up on who's he looking at. But not only that, okay, I'm going to zoom in here as best I can, because I want you to see what else he does. I specifically said those flowers were a message. The gun, my first hit on the gun was that gun was deliberately crotch held right in front of his crotch, because that person has no knowledge of guns. And to be an idiot to put a gun in a holster in your crotch would mean you either are intending to blow your own balls off accidentally, are willing to risk it, or the gun's not armed, or the gun is fake. But the intent was definitely there to make sure, in my opinion.
You can put your holster up wherever the hell you want. If you're a dumbass and you don't have the safety on, then yeah, you can shoot your balls off. But if you have the safety on, you can't pull the trigger. You don't know anything about guns. Because I put mine right where the porch guy put his, and my gun ain't going to go off and shoot my balls off. It just ain't going to happen.
This entire kidnapping was staged. Was Nancy removed? Yes.
Yeah, it could have been staged.
She removed that night after she left the home? Yes.
So Kim is saying, hey, Mab, an older woman got on 857 and talked about mining and mineral rights. Pretty good. Well, Nancy's husband was a miner. He died down in Mexico on a mining operation. So gangbangers do it that way. Yes. I think the Porch Guy had a bad hand and a bad leg or back. So it's on YouTube. I know it's on YouTube. Just send me the link. I have to go way back here and try to find it and stop, and write it down and all that stuff. I can't copy and paste from this MAB's idea to do it. It's on YouTube. Keisha Keaton Paranormal. I'll write it down, Keisha. But next time, email it to me. Hello, MAB Investigates. Good. I want to. Let me put a. Let me see if they can hear you. Put a one in the chat if you can hear her. Because I haven't shared the screen. Yes. No sound on the caller. Okay. Yeah, I can hear you, but they can't. Hold on. I should have picked it up on my phone. Are you from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania? Okay, I'm going to call you right now and put it on speaker. I'm going to call you back and put it on speaker. All right.
Hello?
There we got you.
Now I got you.
Yep.
Good.
We can do it.
I'm sorry nobody could hear me. I've never done this before, so I have no clue what I'm doing.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Because,
okay. Sorry about that.
No problem. We can do it this way just as easy as the other way.
Yes.
So what's going on?
Did you? I've been following. Oh my goodness! I say about 11 of the YouTubers.
Yeah.
JLR and Criminal
Network.
Yeah. Alex.
Alex.
And
yeah.
I've been following this for 3 months, and we know nothing.
I know. I mean, once we get a good lead, and then somebody else pops up that looks like they could be the perp, and now we got a new guy named Kale that her former worker of his swears he's the porch guy, and he talked about kidnapping Nancy for $6 million.
Oh my goodness, I did not hear that.
Well, it's coming up right after we get through this video.
Well, did you see on it was February 10th. Now JLR had it on, and I was watching the guy walking his dog.
Yeah.
You know, the guy, he had the same shoes on, and he's pigeon-toed.
Yep, he is. And
I don't know. I don't know what to think.
Right. There's a guy named Richard Nolette that says his brother is the porch guy.
Yes, I saw that interview.
Yeah. Was that crazy or what?
Well, you know, people are saying he's nuts, but you know, we don't know what people saw.
Everything I've looked up on him checks out that he said so far to be true. Yeah.
Uh-huh. But I heard the whole thing. Okay, the first and second.
And he lives.
I don't know.
He lives like.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
He lives like 15 minutes away from me.
Yeah, he does.
I went by there.
So you live in Arizona?
No, he's here in my area where I live.
Oh, okay. All right.
In California.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was born in California.
Really? Where?
Pleasanton.
Pleasanton. I'm in.
Yeah, my dad was in the Air Force.
I'm down. My wife works in Monterey, and I'm kind of halfway between Monterey and San Jose, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The 101 by the big red
Yeah,
barn.
we're military family, so.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, yes, I was watching that. I don't know about anybody else, but it gave me goosebumps. It really did. I'm thinking, is this even real? But as more I listen to him, I don't know. I believe what he says. You know, like I said, this is very frustrating for us people. We know nobody's talking, and that sheriff, and they knows. I don't, honestly, I mean, this is my opinion. I think he's involved or he knows something, because why won't he let people search? I mean, Savannah asked for people to search, and he said no. I don't get it. What does this happen in every investigate or what?
She may not be missing. I mean, she may be out in witness protection, because they may have gotten a threat against her life and they hid her, and all this is just a psyop.
I don't know what to think anymore.
I know, right?
I'm racking my brain. I'm thinking, you know what? I mean, I don't watch the Today Show at all. I don't like those shows, but I've heard of her, and you know, but it doesn't make sense to me.
But 90+% of people who are unalived know their perpetrator.
Right. Yes.
So that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So she knew him probably. From where? We don't know. Was it Tommy? Was it? Some people think it's Tommy and Annie doing in the Porch Guys thing.
Well, I was thinking that in the beginning, honestly. I don't know what to think anymore. I mean, I'm thinking about it all the time. I'm constantly on YouTube. I spend more time on YouTube than I do anything else. I don't watch TV anymore except to watch the Phillies game.
Same here. I mean, I watch YouTube pretty much. I don't even watch TV anymore.
Yeah, I don't need them except for the ball games. Hey, I wanted to tell you, I work at Hershey Park in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ever get out here, let me know and I can get you tickets.
All right.
Free tickets.
Sounds good.
They start in May, which is this month. I'm not sure when, but I get like 2 tickets. So if you're ever in this area, like the Giant Center, like this right Jersey Chocolate World, and then the park, it's kind of connected together. But if you ever get out this way, give me a call and I'll get you a couple of tickets.
Sounds
All
good.
Right? Okay.
Thanks for the call.
Yep. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. See, we can watch videos and take phone calls.
I think at 2:28, her pacemaker was reported to have been far enough away from the home now that it wasn't being tracked. So do I believe she came back home, was then removed? Yes. But I still believe the blood was staged, and that entire scene coming onto the porch was incredibly staged and pre-planned. And I've explained to you. Now, if you want to go back and understand my motive.
Yeah, she thinks the whole thing's staged.
Video, you got to go watch it. And for those of you that are new, you got to go back through the history of my videos where I'm in my mind, I'm trying to, I was working towards that. And then do we have a motive is when, geez, I still wasn't 100%, is actually super, super critical in this clip because he
slaps the flowers. He slaps the shit out of the flowers.
gestures on his hand. He gestures on his hand as he's picking up the flowers and he's looking out to someone else out there. Now, in my opinion, I believe this is T in the knapsack, and I believe A is the one he's looking at. And a lot of people, you may recall, said that they thought there was sign language going on because of his hand gestures. Do you remember that being reported? Okay, well, I'm going to show you now. As he picks up the flowers, he slaps his hand as he's looking out to the person out.
He slaps the shit out of them flowers.
There. Was A the person out there? Yes, I believe it was. I know some of you think A is the person in the mask. No. T is the mask. A's out in the bush watching as the flowers are picked up to cover the Nest camera, which the Wreath could have done even a better job on. Don't forget, in my opinion, this whole thing is staged to make it look like Nancy was kidnapped. Well, she was removed. Let's not be, I mean, that's clear, but not in the conditions that they were trying to make us believe. Hence why they put the gun on the crotch, and hence why the mask and everything else to make it appear like it's something that it wasn't. But look at this message that I believe Savannah picked up on. Slap on the hand as he picks up.
Well, let's see it.
The weeds. I'm going to show it to you.
He had a backpack on as well and appears to be carrying a
that I believe Savannah picked up on. Slap on the hand as he picks up the weeds. I'm going to show it to you. Was A, punished by her mother for picking flowers out of the garden?
This is a little bit of a stretch. Nancy slapped the shit out of Annie for messing up her flowers. So Annie's had Tommaso slap the flowers to get back. What the fuck? Sorry. What the hell?
Watch.
Watch the slap.
Also breaking this afternoon, look at these frightening new photos of a masked person at the front door of Nancy Guthrie's house.
Frightening new photos of a masked person. The intention was to scare. Now let's keep watching this clip.
These images just released a few hours ago. You see the figure wearing gloves, a ski mask, putting his head down as if trying not to be identified. He had a backpack on as well and appears to be carrying a firearm. And you can see in the video.
And he appears to be carrying a firearm. And don't forget, look, I'm going to repeat. I'm going to rewind it. He deliberately puts his hand on his firearm to make sure that our attention goes there, as if you couldn't see it swinging in front of his crotch before that. But I'm going to watch it, slow it down here. I'm going to slow this down a little bit. And I want you to watch what he does. I'm going to mute it, but I want you to watch what happens when he slaps his hand. Puts his hand on the gun. Let's make sure you see it. Now I'm going to fiddle with the camera. I'm not going to cover it. Like I could put my whole hand in front of it to cover it if I wanted, like Monk's Intrigue said, but I choose not to, knowing it's capturing me, knowing that if I was there before, like they said, that I knew there was a camera there, and I'm so nonchalantly not worried. But watch this. I pick up the flowers. I look over at somebody and I slap my hand. Let's go. Let's rewind that again. I slapped my hand.
Slap the flowers.
I come in, no worry in the world. Put my hand on my gun so that you know I'm business. I don't actually try to cover the camera with the wreath. That makes more sense. I don't put my whole hand in front of the camera, which I know would block its view entirely. I do some weird cupping motion, and then I'm looking for something to cover the camera with, not the wreath there. I go to the weeds. I look up as I'm pulling the weeds here now to somebody out there, and I slap my hand. Let's go back and watch that again. Who is he looking at? What's he doing? He's looking out at somebody. I've shown you this before. And he slaps his hand. Whoop. See that? Now, just my opinion. But I really believe, like I said, that was a message.
I don't think so, lady. I don't think he slapped flowers.
Somebody potentially got in trouble for pulling flowers out of the mom's garden. I don't know. It's just my thought. You don't have to believe it. So again, I originally thought the second photo that came out when he's not holding the backpack was after the kidnapping. But the police are saying, no, that came from January 11th when the perp here, or the porch perp, we want to call him, actually cased the place out before. How did that not get flagged by Nancy's family? How did that not get flagged by Nancy if you have a Ring camera to, and as Chris McDermott says, why would you have, let me fix my hair here because it's driving me nuts. Note to other people who are trying to regrow their bangs after.
Who's Chris McDermott? You're saying, trying to say Chris McDonough?
That came from January 11th when the perp here, or the porch perp, we want to call him, actually cased the place out before. How did that not get flagged by Nancy's family? How did that not get flagged by Nancy if you have a Ring camera to, and as Chris McDermott says,
McDermott. Chris McDermott. Chris McDonough. I thought you were a psychic. Damn.
Why would you have, let me fix my hair here because it's driving me nuts.
Oh, Lord.
Note to other people who are trying to regrow their bangs after years of having a part. Anyways, why would you be dumb enough to scout the location out, know there's a Nest camera there, bring a
Inner city Atlanta and Fulton County. I mean, can we even count them? I can't.
Thousands.
Yeah, it's hard when I look back to count the numbers. 100, 150 brand new felonies a week times 4, that's a month, times 12, times 10 years plus. That's a lot of cases. So Cheryl, is there anything new under the sun?
Kozan, apparently this Kale guy has a messed up hand as well. It's loot. I don't know. We're going to see.
Defendants do the same thing over and over and over. They can't help themselves. Like, think about it. Everybody listening right now. Do you brush your teeth the same way, at the same time, every morning, in the same order? Do you wash your clothes a certain way? Do you get somewhere in your car and go, oh my goodness, I don't even remember getting here. I must have zoned out. People do the same things over and over and over. It's like, it's muscle memory. So what I'm saying, Cheryl, we know this guy, the perp, one of them anyway, because I believe there had to be at least 2 involved. We know this guy lay in wait before. We know he cased the scene more than once. So he was very high on preparation, getting there ahead of time. What would be any different this time? It's like every time a dog sits down, it circles 3 times. He was in that neighborhood, which makes it very important to review the video from the Uber driver that picked up Mrs.
Yeah, where's the video from the damn Uber driver? That's what I want.
Guthrie that night. And also, Cheryl McCollum, a lot has been made about the daughter, Annie Guthrie, and brother-in-law of Savannah Guthrie, their car being impounded, and why it took so long. How do I know it didn't have 360 nav, just like a
has they kept it for 40 days.
Tesla? Remember what we learned in the Alex Murdaugh double murder trial and the murders of his wife, Maggie, and son, Paul?
Yeah.
His SUV, it was a big honking like a Wagoneer or something, revealed so much data. When he took off from the crime scene that night, scratching off, when he slowed down his vehicle, let the passenger window down electronically, yes, the black box of his car showed that, threw out Maggie's cell phone and then scratched off to hide out at his mother's house. Remember all that? So much we can learn. So Cheryl, yeah, so while their vehicle was in impound, how do I know they weren't looking at that?
They should have been. They not only should be looking at any type of data that could come from the car, whether it's video or from the black box. Did that car move after 9 o'clock? They would know that. And that's why it's critical when you're ruling people in and ruling them out. Go through all of it in order to truly rule somebody out. The data from that phone, the data from the car is going to tell the story. That's not something they can manipulate. The Uber driver the same way. If he were to put his phone on airplane mode, that black box in that car is still operational and still telling us whether it's rolling forward, in park, the trunk opens, the passenger door opens. We will know all of it.
Back to you, Joe Scott Morgan, you and I believe Cheryl and Fitz were talking at the very, very beginning when Miss Guthrie went missing about the importance, the critical nature of vehicles in this case. And now,
yeah, so many people, in my opinion, shut so many people up, in my opinion. It could be Jenny Smith. Golf balls. What's up with the golf balls? Stacks. Sub the Nabsta. Nab the Mabsta. It's all for rocker. What does he have in his hand, though? It looks like a damn button of some kind. I saw that. And I was like, what is that? It's crazy.
now it's coming true.
Okay. So Nancy Grace has been very careful to not ever suggest something regarding the family until last night. In fact, she had Chris McDonough. Okay. So Nancy Grace has been very careful to not ever suggest something regarding the family until last night. In fact,
I don't follow any AI crap. It's just a gun and a holster. Yeah, pretty simple, right?
she had Chris McDonough on from the Cold Case Foundation on her show not long ago and said, Chris, you keep pointing to the family. What's the deal here? And the first time
somebody sent me that video, it's on my email. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. I've been working all damn day.
She says, well, the car of the son-in-law and the daughter, the A&T team, was impounded for 41 days. How do I know they're not looking? And Cheryl says, well, they should be. They can't be
Guilty of crime. Mrs. MAB was wearing your shirt today while we were gardening. So there you go. Good to see you, darling.
manipulate the data, and poof, her video's cut. Boom.
Boom.
Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Tell me your theories. How, of all the possible ways out of that neighborhood, did she determine it? Let's go.
Annie comes up with the likely escape route for the perp. This is what's coming up here.
So tonight, in addition to a review of video footage from not only that Uber driver, but from Annie Guthrie's vehicle, to determine not just what was Mrs. Guthrie wearing, what was her demeanor, did she look ill, was she concerned? Not just that, looking for the vehicle. And that is going to require a lot of enhancement of the video. God willing, the video is still there. We also learned that fresh eyes are reviewing the evidence from the feds. Not only is that video being reviewed as we go to air, we learn that Annie Guthrie herself provided the route she believes the killer used that night. Let's take a look at it. Straight out to Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter. What is this? Where did it come from?
This actually, Annie Guthrie was in a group chat online with neighbors and sent this map to them at the beginning of the investigation, Nancy. This was put out there early, hoping that somebody might have seen something or had video along, you see the blue map line there, that somebody along that way could look through their video. I mean, this is really an incredible source of information from Annie Guthrie coming up with what she thought was the plan, or the route rather, taken by on the way home. So they're looking for anyone along this pathway, you know, that might have seen something. It's curious when you really get into this that she's marked different addresses along the way. It's just an incredible piece of information that Annie Guthrie offered to this group with neighbors talking about the area.
You know, if this route is real, if this is the route the killer took. Straight out to you, Cheryl McCollum, joining us, crime scene investigator of many years, author of a brand new book, and star of Zone 7. Okay.
Speak English, will you? Break it down for us.
What do we do with it? This is the route that Annie Guthrie is allegedly convinced the killer used. It's full of evidence.
Nancy, when you're looking at this map and you see all the places, the nail salon, I mean, you've got tons of businesses, you've got residential areas. I would not, number one, I would not limit my investigation to this map, but I would certainly go through it based on what her daughter believes to be a route. We are over 80 days into this thing and we don't have a legitimate video of a vehicle. You've got to ask yourself why. How is that possible with all of these intersections that we know have cameras, the gas stations, the churches, the businesses? How do we not have?
Phone number's still open, guys. If you want to call, we can call and do the video at the same time. I have the technology. We can do calls and the video at the same time.
A vehicle. Well, Nancy, as you know, I was out there. And here's what I can tell you. At any given point almost, you could take a hard right or a hard left and cut through little parts of the desert. It's vast. It's open. You don't have to go through that intersection if you don't want to. You can go right through parts of the land and avoid some of these places.
You can drive right through the damn desert if you have the right truck.
So again, we know at 127
When is Mother's Day? Sunday after? I better figure that out too.
He's at the front door. We know by 2:29, the app has disconnected to her watch. We have a timetable. There's no way at this point, after 80 days, they can't pinpoint 1 mile away in that circumference and not catch him somehow. And I think with all the planning, he avoided those cameras.
You know, he avoided those cameras, Cheryl. I hear what you're saying, but it's also a non sequitur. It doesn't make sense. If he did all that camera avoidance, then how come he didn't know the camera on her front porch worked?
See? Because it was intended for us to see it one way and not the other. Now, I'm going to keep playing it because Cheryl did say, and this might have been where it was clipped, not earlier, because I distinctly remember Cheryl saying, well, I'm curious as to how Nancy came up, or Annie rather, came up with that route. I'm not sure if she says that or not, but before we go back and play that, I want to address before I forget. A lot of you have said, look at the tattoo, look at the tattoo. Okay, go to Monk's Intrigue, the shadowing. But now let's listen to this.
Yeah, I don't think there's I think it's a shadow, that tattoo bullshit. Hello, MAB Investigates. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, MAB, it's Lisa Joe.
It's who?
Lisa Joe.
Hey, Risa Joe, what's up?
Hey, so have you left the theory of them transporting her with the dolly?
They could have very well transported her with that dolly. Reeve was a suit. The dolly would have left those tracks, and so would have the large suitcase.
Because what? You remember when you talked about seeing the track?
Yeah.
And we saw the video, right?
Yep.
And I saw on Tucson, I was getting some feedback. So talk to me for a second. Let me see if I'm getting feedback. Yeah.
You getting feedback? I think we're good.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, so yeah. So I saw on Tucson the video, because I know you and Dolly have kind of gone back and forth, and Dolly was kind of saying, well, those tracks could have been made by the pool guy, whatever.
Yeah.
And when I saw Tucson's video, those tracks were there before anybody ever got there on the scene, right?
Right.
And they lead to the opposite side of the driveway where the mailbox is.
Yeah.
Now, and they were tracks just like that dolly that we saw was made.
Yeah.
And then on Monk the other day, he was showing a picture of the tire on the dolly, on a dolly.
Mhm.
They could have made that impression in the tire.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, dang.
Oh, you mean the blood impression?
Yeah.
A little bit. Those tires.
That
Yeah.
little S pattern that people said might have been a shoe pattern.
Yeah.
It looked just like the tire impression.
That's interesting. We haven't seen Kale yet.
So I'm still going with the theory. And when they got out to the street, it looked like when the tracks get to the end of the driveway and then go in front of the street, like if a car was parked on the side of the street and not up in the driveway.
Yeah.
The tracks look like they almost kind of sunk into the ground a little.
Yeah.
From the weight. So I'm going with the theory that they took her on a dolly, like she might have been incapacitated, and they put her on that dolly and just wheeled her out there. Like, it was so dark, nobody would have seen anything anyway.
I think the dolly's handle was put in backwards too, so her head would rest up against it.
And we know that somebody had to know that dolly was there. I still think it's an inside job. That's just my opinion. Only alleged. It's still an inside job. I'm not getting off that. I don't know if any of the family was involved, but whoever did this knew too much information, and they got it from somewhere.
Yeah.
People that knew her movement, knew what was going on around that house, and it was all about the money. It had something to do with money.
Yeah.
That's my theory, and that's what I'm sticking to.
All right, Risa.
Anyway, good show.
All right, thank you.
Take care.
All right, dear.
Bye.
Bye. What was I doing? The guy was pretty chill. That was on the porch. Like, he wasn't in no rush.
Footage some more.
I don't think he cared because, again, he's not in a hurry. He knows he's completely covered. He knows there's no connection to her. They don't know who he is. She doesn't know who he is. Again, after 80 days, we don't know who he is. So he didn't have a jammer. Otherwise, he wouldn't be acting like he did. I don't believe he had an accomplice. If he did.
What the hell was he tearing a walkie-talkie for then? Come on, man. I got Google Voice, but I can't play a video and do phone calls at the same time. How do I do that? I made a special thingy for, but it makes everybody really small. The phone layout. I'll figure it out.
Why is he the only one caught on video?
Well, I can tell you that because I told you that before. In my theory, okay, the plan did not go as expected. That there's 4 people. I'm going to show you Dr. Gary Bacata right after this theory and how it aligns with mine. That he very much
he dressed the same, and the only thing that changes on the 30th, he now has a weapon and a backpack. He came mission ready on that day. He was ready that day. The days before, casing the joint, laying out his plan.
Let's look in depth at the route Annie Guthrie identified as the killer's route. Let's start with Lulu Walker Elementary.
Now I'm going to fast forward because I think the comment might have been removed from Cheryl McCollum, which was, how the heck did Annie get this route? I'm going to see if I can find it. If not, we're going to move on now to Dr. Gary Bacata.
Pass more cameras than you know every day. ATMs have cameras.
The famed FBI profiler. She's been doing this kind of work for decades. She actually helped start the FBI Behavioral Analysis Unit. You guys might know the show Mindhunter on Netflix. One of the characters on Mindhunter, Dr. Wendy Carr, that was the character's name, was actually developed based on Dr. Ann Burgess. So it's a real privilege to get to talk to her. And she had such interesting insight when it comes to the Nancy Guthrie case, what she thinks the motive may be, why she thinks it may have something to do with retribution, and why she believes the FBI should be looking back at Nancy's associates going back a decade or more. There's a lot that I hadn't thought about before, and I'm going to get into it in this episode of MAB Investigates.
Dr. Ann Burgess, it's so nice to meet you. I've been, I don't know if fan is the right word, but a follower of yours for a long time, and I appreciate you taking the time to join me today.
Sure, happy to. Thank you for the invitation.
I think most people, at least in my audience, know that you're a famed forensic profiler. But tell us a little bit about your.
Okay, so she works directly with Dr. Bacata. So
Bacata,
you know, valuable
profiler. But tell us a little bit about your.
Okay, so
stop.
Resolution to this, and from the sources that I have on the inside, there's not a suspect. I don't think there's any good leads right now. I mean, I don't think I call it a cold case because they're still working it really hard. Are you surprised it's taking this long?
Well, I go kind of with you. I thought this would be wrapped up, that this was a kidnapping and this would be wrapped up fairly quickly. But as you get into it now, as you know, we're pretty handicapped with we don't have a lot of information that we can use. Normally would have a lot more information. We have almost zero information. But I think the other thing that complicates this case is that the DNA, that evidently they have some little bit, but it's going to be very hard to separate out the DNA from family members or other who's known and so forth. So I think they really, they're at a hard place right now, unless the only thing that makes me think you could break open this case.
What the hell is going on? Something just.
The secret is out. The doors are kicked in. And the mystery.
But I think the other thing that complicates this case is that the DNA, that evidently they have some a little bit, but it's going to be very hard to separate out the DNA from family members or other who's known and so forth. So I think they really, they're at a hard place right now, unless the only thing that makes me think you could break open this case is if indeed there are more than one person involved in this, whether it be.
I think there's at least 3 involved. I think 2 backpack guys involved. I think Ronald Aaron Lopez, I think, is involved, and I think Millette may be involved. But this Kale stuff is crazy. We're going to go over that in a second.
Because of setting it up.
New member. Thanks, Alec, Alicia, Cam. Good to see you. Thanks for the membership. You in the goat pen now. You in the goat pen.
Or because of trying to kidnap her, et cetera, et cetera. If there's multiple offenders, you can sometimes get them to break. Each one will break on the other. So that's the only thing. This is a tough case. You just don't have enough. As you said, even if you had inside information, you still don't have enough because there's just no. There is some information, I think, with nothing missing. That's the other thing is how do you have a kidnapping? Well, you can have a kidnapping with just a person. Of course, you have that in children, but it's very rare in elders. And even you go online, the amount of elders that are missing is very small. And if it is, they're missing for other reasons, not because of a kidnapping. So all of those things you have against you in terms of trying to even come up with a profile, because it's such a small population that would ever abduct an elder. So no evidence. That's and the mixed DNA. I think that's what's really hard.
We could have a gerontophiliac, which is somebody who serially R's older people.
When you were working,
and I brought that up with Gary, Dr. Gary, when I was on the interview room. He said it's almost impossible.
Working with the profiling unit, do they have enough to come up with something at this point, just based on what happened?
There was just a recent case where an older woman gave one of the workers like some cookies or some shit. And he took it as like, she's hitting on me, and came back and R'd her, killed her, and then threw her in the back of his truck and then wrapped her all up in the bed sheets and everything, and half the shit ended up flying out the back of the truck, and that's how they caught him.
You know, there's that photo from the front camera. Is there something more that they could be releasing to the public that would help with tips and sort of help narrow down the search?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know I've been on a few other blogs way back when this first came out, and I always wanted to know how did they get in. That's one of your first questions. Somebody had to have gotten in. There's no forced entry. There's nothing. So that
Nancy's job at the university was, I think, in communications or digital something like that. Gray Pubes. Gray Pubes investigates maps.
Could have helped an awful lot if you could have. I mean, we have to just speculate that it was someone that either watched when this garage door went up, or had been in there when she had gone out and was hiding there. I mean, all of those scenarios I've seen. I
always thought Tommaso could have just walked into the garage after Nancy and then just hung out for 20 minutes, propped the back doors open, and went home. I was on the interview room twice or 3 times. I can't remember.
We had cases where that's happened, but you just have to say
Thanksgiving Day, I was on the interview room. You might go back and watch that one.
These are possibilities. And why would they? I think motive is important. I don't mean motive in terms of, yes, they tried to get her out. Of course, that we see that. But what is behind what's the real motive? Is this something against her, an 84-year-old woman, or is this against somebody else within the family? We do know that can be in other cases. I think what you're asking is how many other cases have we seen in which we were able to develop a profile, and then you work your legacy cases against what you have current. That's always been my way of working these cases.
So,
okay.
Right, makes sense. When you said that she may not, I think you said she may not have been the target. They may have taken her to get to someone else.
Right.
What do you? Yeah, I haven't heard much about that theory. What do you mean?
You get to her to punish Savannah.
Mean by that?
Well, who in her orbit, let's call it that could be family, could be friends, would be hurt the most? And
who would be hurt the most?
Savannah.
I think that is Savannah, and the one that would have had the money. But listen, I want to just go back to Dr. Gary Bacata, and then we're going to listen. I want to just go and whatnot, are not able to get enough evidence to hold the perpetrators or find the other accomplices to this crime. The sheriff's department yesterday at 11:45 a.m. Eastern, May 1st, he was asked to submit a report to the board about all his lying, about his history and his background, and he didn't actually report an answer under oath. He had his lawyer report a report, which was basically, I'm not going to comply. So I'm not sure what the board is going to do with Nanos, but this did not come from a report, which was basically, I'm not going to comply. One good tip can give them everything they need to solve a case. It's not dramatic or even expected. It's someone deciding to speak up, even if they're not sure it matters. Sometimes that's enough to shift the whole story. A case that's been sitting for a long time, as in 3 months, starts to breathe again, all because somebody finally picked up the phone. So even if you've been sitting on a tip that seems unimportant or too small, a detail to mean anything, it's worth picking up the phone and calling into the hotline. Sometimes the smallest tip can make the biggest difference. So for those of you still here, thank you. But this is now the video that Brian does after.
He's a visiting scholar at Boston College right now, where Dr. Burgess works. They work on forensic research and
it is acting up.
Clinical psychologist or researcher on violent crime. He's a
To Dr. Gary.
Come on.
Visiting scholar at Boston College, a member of the expert panel for the Cold Case Foundation, and has a very popular book, The New Evil: Understanding the Emergence of Modern Violent Crime. So I'm really happy to talk to you today, Dr. Brucato. I've been talking to a lot of people. I think someone you work with too, Dr. Burgess. I talked to her a couple of days ago, just to find out, what they think about the Nancy Guthrie case. I've heard a lot of different theories, but what I'm really interested with you is that you're so data driven and stats and research, and you come at it from a real data perspective based on what real statistics show in the crime world. Based on that, what is your profile for who this suspect could be?
Well, in order to do that, first we have to make buckets that are motivationally driven. And then,
yeah, my brother had gray hair in his high school. His hair went gray.
And think about the likelihood of each of those before we can start thinking about the type of person who committed the crime, right? And so what you start with is the question of whether there was a sexual motivation.
Right now.
That is one of the prime reasons somebody would randomly break into a home. And
that's gerontophilia, and it's very rare, according to Dr. Gary, when I asked him about this before.
And target a person. It turns out that breaking into a person's home and doing that is actually fairly rare. It's quite rare. But to do so with an elderly victim is profoundly rare. Because when a person is breaking into a home to do that, generally it's a serial offense that somebody is going to keep doing over time and involves a paraphilic behavior, meaning that the person is kind of drawn to a certain inappropriate group sexually and will do that over and over again. And for that particular paraphilia, I mean, you're going to see that virtually never. It's called
gerontophilia.
Gerontophilia, where you're interested in elderly people like that. You can sometimes see
that.
I mean, you're going to see that virtually never. It's called gerontophilia, where you're interested.
That's what I suggested to him when I was on the show.
In elderly people like that. You can sometimes see an offense.
Okay, so virtually never. So he's going to continue to go through his theory and I'm going to show you the one that aligns with
that tend to be necessary for those kind of offenders. I really don't think that is on the table. And then you think about the possibility of robbery. Well, it's true that there are over 1 million financially driven offenses that go on a year. It's a little tricky, though, because in this situation, nothing was taken. If you're abducting a person with the intention of putting them up for ransom, ransoms statistically generally are put up within, are requested within 24.
Nana Banana, you're right. They're not looking because she could be alive, being hidden out. That's why they're not looking, because she's not lost. Or they know she's dead in Mexico. I'm going to see them sub numbers higher too, Adam.
48 hours and resolved in a week. There's proof of life because you want the victim out of your hands ASAP to not incriminate yourself as much as possible. And what tends to happen is you wouldn't have an individual who is without her medication, who was injured, so forth, because you would be treating the individual like precious cargo because they are of such high value to you. So that
Now, again, if you're new here, I said there was holding her, the kidnappers.
Things that show physiological evidence of being a little scared of getting caught. This person took time to conceal his identity and to not leave traces, but clearly is unafraid. The reason that's extremely important is because when we're dealing with somebody with that kind of character structure, the probability is very high that the person has had a long history of either inappropriate behavior that people would remember or criminal behavior. So that the individual that is on the camera looks to me like somebody who may very well have come into contact with law enforcement previously.
Yeah, just like the beginning of this video, that guy with the mask. And then if he would have put a mask on, would have been even crazier, right? So we have no idea who's behind that mask.
And so there are two things I would be doing, because I really believe this person is local because of the comfort level. And I know many experts agree with that. And you put these two things together and you start thinking, okay, we should be talking to prisoners and people in jail and the demi-monde, of the area. And we should also be talking to people in the area who may remember having a kind of nasty run-in with a person, a grudge-holding kind of nasty person.
Hey guys, this message.
Okay, I'm going to fast forward now so you don't have to listen to this.
To think is that the person we're seeing on the camera, as I've said in a few places, is sort of like the waiter. And behind the scenes, there's some sort of chef. The person on the screen does not come across as particularly adept at what he is doing. He's comfortable, but makes a lot of foolish, amateurish mistakes. As simple as not wearing your holster correctly in a way that could be very dangerous. The firearm not matching the holster, the flower.
Look, the holster thing, if you have your safety on, you can carry it stuck in your mouth and it won't go off. You have to take the safety off for it to go off. If you have the safety, my safety is always on, but it's cocked. So if I click that down and pull the trigger, it's bang, bang, bang time.
Whereas in the camera, getting caught on camera. So I think that person is a not particularly bright, but willing to do horrible things type that might have been asked to participate in this by some more scheming individual behind the curtain. And if I'm right about that, the more scheming person behind the curtain is going to be somebody who is living a little bit more of a double life.
Your mama, that's right. Jen Caffin Daffer. Today said that true crime has taken over women's soap operas, like General Hospital. I remember that. General Hospital. Who remembers General Hospital? Put one in the chat.
Yep.
The type of person.
The person, like I identified to the FBI with the criminal background, who there was a debt owed to. Just my theory. You don't have to believe it, but keep listening. And then we're going to move into Lynette Hooker briefly.
Person who would superficially look even pro-social or kind to the victim, but who has a reason to want to eliminate them.
Who would look even kind to the victim.
Behind the curtain or party behind the curtain, probably financially driven, probably was an attempt to abduct that went south, or an outright homicide, and in either case, probably some kind of financial motivation underlying it.
And I'm going to go with it wasn't a homicide. In my opinion, it was the latter, where something went wrong, but financially motivated. Let's keep listening for a couple of minutes, and then we're getting into Lynette Hooker. Okay, we're going to listen to the very...
Now, what we know about this scene suggests a very calculated and pragmatic kind of thing. But the idea is that I still think that probably the person...
You're now beholden the restless. hinky dinky off. No, ain't gonna happen. Mine has a very good safety. A lot of times I'll just carry it in my pocket and wear a long shirt. Nobody knows the difference.
I knew her because of the comfort level. And so it suggests to me that they should be talking to anybody that has had a passing connection with her that would require some knowledge of her finances or the inside of her home or her property or something like that. And that can include people that are very intimately aware of you, all the way down to people that just come to the house for trade work. Or
that could include people that are
construction work,
very
electricians, roofers,
very intimately aware of her,
pool guy,
or trades and whatnot,
services, or anything like that. But I definitely agree that the radius around the crime scene of people that are going to know something or have encountered the type of person to do this is not very gigantic.
7 miles is my number.
I think you're talking about somebody sort of within, a small radius of that house.
If it is financially driven, financially motivated, one thing that I've struggled with is why choose Nancy Guthrie of all the rich people out there. I mean, you knew if you're the person behind this or the group, you know that the daughter is famous. This is going to get a lot of attention. It just seemed like there would be a simpler way to do a financially motivated.
Jim, I thought it was the old and the breastless. Oh no, Jim.
Production, get the money and not have a big scene like
Jolly
this.
good.
Well, you're making a very smart point.
Jolly good 66. Good to see you, Don.
Which is right at the heart of a lot of what I write about, which is that one of the clues that somebody knows you or is more fantasy oriented or grudge oriented is that you do things
grudge oriented.
Like Annie. Annie, there was not good blood in the family between Annie and Savannah, according to Cameron's babysitter. I got the inside scoop on that from Monk.
Somebody that knows you, that is grudge oriented. Keep listening.
in the crime that incur risk because they're not necessary pragmatically to achieve your aim. So why would you do them, right? And now look, it's entirely possible that because you're local, you look for a person in the local area who happens to be tied to someone who you think would have the money to pay ransom for a family member. But that's precisely what points to me to someone who had an encounter with her, who had a close, not close necessarily, but a tie to her, because it does raise that question of why her. Now, certainly from a victimological perspective, she was a very vulnerable and easy target. And yet, whoever did this, being a nefarious person who isn't especially bright, didn't seem to think through the reality that a lot could go wrong when you're trying to go into the home of a probably very frightened 84-year-old woman who might not.
He was probably pissed and was like, "Get behind me, Satan!" Whap! She probably attacked that sumbitch. Whooped half his ass.
Not have had her hearing aids in, who would have been terrified, absolutely terrified, if she was awake for any portion of this, alert for any portion of this. And how much could go south. For example, the blood we see could have even been from an accidental fall on the way out the door or anything like that. So I think that my strong inclination is that this did not go the way it was supposed to, and the person wound up totally empty-handed. And then there was nothing to do from there except eliminate evidence and probably contact whoever was behind the curtain and say, "I don't know what you're going to do now, but I don't have it. I can't do anything here."
Yeah, I think they got screwed. Nobody got any money. And the other thought I had just flew out my damn head. Truth Warrior, good to see you. You gonna keep a brick under your pillow? I keep something else under my pillow. Bam!
So
that's exactly what I said. Something went wrong.
Somebody might have pulled the mask off, and she's like, "Uh-oh, there he is." And then they had to get rid of her, right?
Didn't get what they went there for. And because in my belief, in my remote viewing session, mask was pulled off, there was now the ability for Nancy to identify these people. And so plan B had to be implemented.
That's my strong sense of what happened.
Could be, Nanette. Could be. Yeah, you did nail it.
Do you tend to believe that some of the ransom notes are real?
Well, it would be very helpful, of course, to have the text of them. But if to review, but if the ransom notes were real, then you would start getting into an additional motive, which is somebody who, for whatever reason, additionally sadistically likes needling or kind of feels the need to be in the public eye or have some notoriety or whatever. And that can happen with people, particularly if they're of the kind of psychopathic, narcissistic variety.
That reminds me of Noette. How about you?
But then the question again becomes, why the sadistic extra? What is your personal reason for wanting to do that to somebody? That starts pointing to that underneath what looks like a financial motive is concealed a more personal one. And the whole point is to throw everybody off the scent by using what looks like a financial one. Now, I've written about and talked about a phenomenon that I've called elimination murder. And elimination murder is where you eliminate through homicide a person that you know because they are in the way of something. They're an impediment to something.
Impediment to getting money.
And it could be financial, could be they're a burden because of their health. It could be that
both burden and money.
They know too much. They're a witness to something you've done or have.
Right. They're a witness to something you've done. Pulled the mask off.
Figured something out or walked in on you doing something. It could be that there's a romance you want, like Susan Smith, where she couldn't have one if she had 2 children. So you eliminate. And one of the hallmarks that I've identified of that phenomenon is that you work very, very hard, like Susan Smith did, to give the impression that a total stranger, for no clear reason, came in and did this. The problem is because the people who do it are not especially sophisticated, they don't fake robbery and they don't fake sexual assault, which are the general reasons why a stranger is going to break in and do. And sometimes that suggests to me, this is somebody who knows you in some way, even if it's in a passing way, but they don't want attention drawn to them, so they utilize a higher.
Now, if you had a very strong magnet and you put it onto her pacemaker, that could kill her right there, because it would stop the electronics from working. Or a small EMP device. EMF, what is it? EMP. A burst of electromagnetic energy can wipe out anything with circuitry in it. Microwaves can do that. A strong electrical field. So if you blast out a strong magnetic field, the magnetic field turns into electricity when it hits the circuits, and then it burns them up.
Person, or they make it look like something else. And that's something I think we have to think about here as a possibility. But superficially speaking, most likely motivation is somebody wanted money and messed up.
And
somebody wanted money and messed up, and they're trying to divert attention away. So that's his belief, not the entire.
All right, Kimsta. See you later. We're going to be wrapping up pretty quickly.
Interview. Go watch the entire interview if you want to see it. Now let's get into Lynette. Then has
what I discover with the U.S. Coast Guard Investigative Services, because they're also busting their tukas, and they are working really, really hard to try to figure out what happened on board that dinghy and what might have happened on board the yacht. Like, did Lynette really bounce out on the way to the yacht from land? It's about a 12.
This is the Hooker case.
Minute trip. Or did something actually happen after they got to the yacht?
Before I continue on with Ashley's video, before I forget, because I've been meaning to show this, I wanted to show you what true crime rocket science showed. The pull string, okay, this is this pull string, the emergency pull string that is on one of the 2 motors that they had on this boat. But look at Brian wearing his wedding ring. This is an up-close shot from one of their videos, Brian Hooker wearing his wedding ring. Well spotted, Victoria, and thanks for sending this through. Now, here it is. There's the wedding ring there. There's the wedding ring there. Now look what he does with this wedding ring.
Short legs.
Yes.
What's going on, darling? What's that?
Just one thing I wanted to say was when I was watching the YouTubers that were watching the house, they did an apparent reenactment of what happened, or of what they thought happened. I'm assuming it was the local police department or someone.
Mm-hmm.
And the sound was a motorcycle sound or like a dune buggy sound that went to the back of the house. There was no cars or anything that went to the front of the house.
Yeah, it could have been.
And then you heard the man screaming. So she hurt the man somehow. And then you heard a woman's voice screaming. And then they left. And I believe they left from in the back. They took like the motorcycle.
It could have had a dune buggy or a side-by-side. They could have ripped right through the desert.
Yeah, that's the way they went. They didn't ride on the roads. I think that's why they're not on any cameras.
It's a good thought.
Because I listened to it, and one guy said, don't call the police, it's a reenactment, because they were screaming,
Yeah,
she did have a fight. She did have a fight with the guy.
I follow a lot of off-road recovery channels, so I know that there's a lot of vehicles that can just drive right through that shit. Get to the wash and follow the wash and go up and hit a different road somewhere else.
That's what I think they did. Yeah. I just had to call in and say that.
All right. Thanks, Short Legs.
Pay attention to that stuff. Okay.
We appreciate
Have a
you.
good night, Mom.
All right. Bye, darling.
Okay.
Bye.
Good night.
Short Legs. Known her for like 4 years.
You can see the line from the sun. This is the picture of Brian Hooker getting out from his 3-day stay in jail when they were holding him to see if they had enough evidence to tie him to the crime. Let me move my face in and see if I can zoom in on this a little bit more so you can see it. I'm not able to zoom in, but there's an arrow there. Oh, let's see. Maybe I'll try. Let me see if I can try. Can you see that a little bit better?
What's the arrow pointing?
There is, he's moved his ring. That's the best I can do. Go look at it on True Crime Rocket Science's posts. He moved his ring to his pinky finger.
Hold on, I'll get this. I'll find out. Bam, gotcha.
This is the walk. This is his walk out of jail with his lawyer from the Caribbean in the black looking. He's looking towards her. Walks out of jail wearing his wedding ring on his pinky. Now, what the fuck is that about, Brian Hooker? Okay, I had to get that bounce out. She was pushed out because I saw it in my remote viewing. But listen in.
What might have happened on board the yacht? Like, did Lynette really bounce out on the way to the yacht from land? It's about a 12-minute trip. Or did something actually happen after they got to the yacht?
Yes, she bounced out of the dinghy. She walked along the rocks. I believe she got to the yacht first, where she was trying to get her passport and clothes, where a fight ensued because Brian arrives later, where at 8 p.m. the people are witnessed to have seen the flares go off. And then, like I told you,
yeah, remote viewing is real, but you have to be very skilled in it. Like, they had a lot of remote viewers back in the day from Stanford.
I see him removing her, taking the dinghy to hide her body. And now Ashley is going to show you the video that captured these things.
Particular part of the story. Did something happen on board Soulmate? Because what I'm about to show you suggests something was happening on board Soulmate. Way after Brian should be drifting across the Sea of Abaco to the place where he was marooned the next morning. So again, to just get you up to speed on that story, we are another 2 days away from the fourth week, the fourth week since Lynette Hooker went missing on Saturday night, April 4th, the night before Easter Sunday. 4 weeks is a long time. If you are Lynette's mom, if you are Lynette's daughter, if you're Lynette's friends, her family members. Like, it is interminable. It's horrifying to be in this situation that they're in. But 4 weeks is kind of nothing in an investigation, especially if there is a suspicion that something may have happened along the lines of, I don't know, murder, maybe.
You follow Wall Street astrology for success? I got a big bet on oil. I did a put on oil till July 17th. And if it's back under $80, I'm a winner. Winner. Chicken dinner. Big chicken dinner. 5 years worth of chicken dinners. Yeah, those mangroves suck.
Allegation only. And so, mark my words, as I usually say, everything is calm like the duck above the water. And then those little paddlers are going like mad under the water where we don't see them. And that's my estimation of what's happening with the police. Law enforcement is working really hard on this case. And I keep saying this, that the United States Coast Guard Investigative Services, they are no joke. They just got a big conviction yesterday in another case, and they are no joke. These guys are solid investigators. They've got an incredible team.
How Annie came up with that.
I just blew through the whole damn video.
After Brian says he left, we see something happening at Soulmate. I have been trying to figure out what exactly it is, but it is without question a big flash of light. Could be a couple things. It could be a reflection of something metal on board Soulmate that just catches the sun. And you know how that is? Like, the sun can, send signals a mile away because it's so bright. It could be something like that. But we haven't really been able to find anything on board Soulmate that fits that bill, that would reflect so perfectly for so long. Because again, sailboats continuously move. And so they're not going to just get like a flashlight in your eyes and stay steady like that. They're going to catch the sun and kind of move around in the waves and the.
Are we talking at night? The sun's not out at night.
They bob and they weave. And so we're not exactly sure what the 7:47 p.m. event is, other than possibly, I know that a lot of sailboats, especially liveaboards, have security. And you don't want people rolling up on you, floating up on you, when you're comfortable and sleeping in your space down below and, robbing you. It happens. They're actually modern day pirates. I mean, it is kind of weird, but they're modern day pirates. They don't wear a patch. They don't have, Blackbeard blazing braids. But this is the kind of security that a lot of liveaboards might have. Automatic lights. We all have them at our houses, right? You trip the zone and the spotlights come on. It is not absolute. I can't say it's absolute, but it is our best estimation from this camera angle.
Where
so
Soulmate is.
The pink dot, we nail it onto the screen at 7:47 when we can see boats in the light time, and we can make our estimation of, we think that might be Soulmate. And so we mark that spot with the pink dot. But the videos at 12:27 a.m. are very dark, but the pink dot's still there. So above it would be where Soulmate is supposed to be anchored. That's our estimation. And as we play this, I want you to watch very carefully what's coming in from the left-hand side.
Adam, what's up?
Master, what's up, brother?
Just getting ready to wrap this Ashley Banfield up and get on to Kale.
Great show tonight, man.
Thank you, sir.
So real quick, before we get into Kale, I don't know if you've looked into this case much, but what do you think about Brian Hooker?
You could bury her on that island in the sand.
Yeah, I think he did too. He definitely had time to. I mean, there's 10 hours unaccounted for.
Right. I mean, he could have done it deep too.
Yeah. And I don't know if you heard me last night, but allegedly they're thinking now that they actually made it back to Soulmate, and she didn't even fall out of the dinghy.
Yeah.
So they're thinking that they actually may have made it back there.
Yeah, I think they made it back. They were drunk. Somebody got pissed. There's a history of domestic violence, right?
Yeah.
And drinking, boating doesn't mix. And they got in a fight, and he choked her out. She died, and he went and buried her.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened.
Stupid that you don't want to throw her in the water because she's going to float to the top and could be found.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think unfortunately it's something that they probably had done numerous times before, they got into it and
Yeah.
something went a little too far, or maybe she fell and hit her head, or something. I don't want to think it was planned, but I think something just went too far.
Yeah. I agree.
I think he had to do whatever he could do about it,
Yeah, either had to fess up or try to hide her body.
Exactly. But you would think he would have gotten the stories together a little bit more, because he is very inconsistent with what he's saying as far as timelines and everything going back to the dinghy and firing off flares and things like that. So it's going to be interesting to follow this one and see what comes of this.
Yeah, I got to dig into that one because I haven't done so yet. I've been busy as heck. Landscaping, planting flowers. Now I got firing up Monday again for more work. It's going to take.
Well, everything looks good, man.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, just wanted to call in. Great show tonight. So we'll talk to you later on, man.
All right, brother.
All right, thanks.
Thanks. It's my buddy Adam from Patriot Pride.
Inside the pink dot, because it appears that a flashlight is kind of swinging around, looking like swinging.
Yeah, some flashlights
around, and then what? The light on board, what we think is soulmate, goes on. The automated light.
Damn.
No, but the flashlight really fires right into Dean's camera and then kind of stays lit. And soulmate's light, if it's soulmate, stays lit. That triggered spotlight on the back riggings. So now we've got, perhaps the rigging light and the lower light being maybe a dinghy light. And what you're going to see is the soulmate light. It might actually go off in a moment. Just watch. And is that because someone from the dinghy got up on board and then shut it off? Because it goes off, but the dinghy light stays on. What is fascinating is as you continue to watch this, the dinghy light's going to go off soon. If again, this is the dinghy and soulmate. But just so you know, all those other lights everywhere, those are other boats, and they're also lights on land that are high up. Those are lights on Elbow Key. But again, you see the dinghy light go off right around the pink dot, which is where we marked soulmate. Is it soulmate? And if it is, what the actual fuck is going on with these lights?
Ashley.
And a dinghy.
What the actual fuck is going on? Yeah, let's watch.
All
Let's
right.
continue to watch. And I'm going to show you the last episode of activity on the soulmate in a second.
With these lights.
An episode.
Next light event. And this is at 12:32 a.m. So this is 5 minutes after the last event that we saw in the darkness. So 12:32 a.m. And I will give the caveat again. You got to look at the pink dot. And this is marked exactly as we left it, where we think soulmate is anchored. And so when it gets dark, it's above the pink dot, if that is in fact soulmate. So when I play this next tape for you, at 0 seconds, watch the left-hand side again of the pink dot. And at 3 seconds, all of a sudden, there's 5 flashes of what I think might be a flashlight moving around in a lower boat. But at around 5 seconds, the big light on the back of the boat again illuminates. If it is the trigger light that we think it might be, it's triggered again and it's on. But that flashlight that seems to be moving around, and you saw it going like 6 times, it was on and off. But if I have you, if I hold a flashlight towards you and then I move it like that, you're not going to see it. Then you're going to see it. Then you're not going to see it. So if the flashlight's moving around, this camera may not see the flashlight, but might see it as a flash, 5 times. But this solid light stays on until about 53 seconds. Watch it as it goes off. What's interesting about that is that if you've ever had a security system, you know that you can set any kind of custom setup with your.
There it goes. Gone.
Lighting, right? There's a trigger. Somebody trips the motion sensor and the lights come on, the floodlights come on in your yard. And then you can tailor it to however long you want those floodlights to stay on. Like some people are like, well, it's going to take me a while to get my bathrobe on, get my gun and go downstairs. I want those on for 5 minutes, or I want those on for 1 minute, or I want them on for 20 minutes, or I want them on for 50 seconds. You can tailor a lot of that stuff. I don't know if that's what we're seeing here, but that big light stayed on until about 53 seconds and then off it went. So,
bam. Guilty. All right, now. All right. Let's get into Kale. She has a mouth, doesn't she? So Kale, I got that woman who called Dolly the other day, last night or the night before, I can't remember. I think her name is Mina. There it is. Kale Edison Health and Kale Nelson. More notes. Well, I got it in an email, so I guess I don't have to. Let me just share this email with you guys. Oh, there'd be a Chrome tab. Forward. Whoa. Mike Lynch, Senior Director of Operations. Mina, tell Kale that I actually am his real mom and that he can suck my holy ass. I don't know what the hell that means. Bam. Let me see if I got the other email. Okay. Okay. You guys got this? You can't read it. You might want to. I'm going to have to read it to you. Statement of observation. I attended a 3-day Q4 company meeting while employed at Edison Interactive. The first 2 days consisted of internal meetings and presentations. The third day including a group outing. During a rehearsal session on day one, company leadership discussed a product referred to as Edison Health, described as a mobile device intended to store personal and medical data for users, including low-income individuals. During that discussion, an executive, Nick, asked my supervisor, Kale Nelson, whether a prior investment connection still existed. A funding amount of approximately $6 million was mentioned. I observed a visible reaction from Kale Nelson suggesting hesitation or concern regarding that amount. In a separate moment during the same day, after I asked what would happen if an investor declined Kale made a statement by referencing a hypothetical scenario involving holding an individual for ransom. The tone of this statement was unclear to me at the time, and I initially interpreted it as a joke. On day 2, while seated with coworkers, I overheard a coworker, Mike, make a statement implying others may or may not be aware of something. Do they know? When I responded, he made a remark presenting himself as an evil British tech billionaire, followed by laughter from others present. I interpreted this interaction as humor at the time. During that same interaction, I observed what appeared to be an ankle monitor on the individual. When I asked about it, the individual gave a vague response and left shortly afterwards. Later, another coworker, Jeremy Ostermiller, asked me and another employee to attempt to take a photo of Kale Nelson with his backpack. Attempts were unsuccessful as he avoided being photographed in that context. On day 3, prior to a group outing, a coworker, Amanda, referenced having seen Kale Nelson wearing a ski mask. This is getting good. She showed me an image of an individual in a ski mask, which she indicated was him. She also showed a zoomed-in image that appeared to include a holster. The context of these images was not explained to me. During this time, I had recently learned that Amanda and I share a familial connection, which may have influenced her willingness to share that information. At a later point, Kale Nelson discussed a recent visit to an investor located in Tucson. He described being shown a residential panic room and noted features of the spaces, including that it was well equipped. He stated that the investor had not disclosed the panic room to her children. In that same context, he referenced details about the property layout, including a water fountain located near a separate living area described in a mother-in-law unit. He stated the environmental changes, such as moisture affecting the fountain, could indicate when the space was in use. Summary statement. I mean, I'm writing to the best of my recollection. These observations occurred during scheduled company meetings and related events where multiple staff members were present at various times. I cannot confirm the intent behind the statements made, and some interaction may have been intended as humor. However, certain comments and behaviors stood out to me due to their unusual or specific nature. I am providing this information as a factual account of what I recall observing and hearing. There may be additional individuals who were present during these moments who could provide further clarification or context. Okay, that's the statement. I got his LinkedIn, his X, and True People Search. Okay, I got Mike Lynch. And I got, this is a movie. You guys seeing this? All right. You're not seeing, let's see. Hold on. All right, now I got to share something else. Now let me share a picture of this guy real quick. Not a very good picture, but it is a picture. This is Kale right here. You guys are crazy. All right, this is Kale right here. All right, so let me share something else. Kale Nelson kidnapped Nancy Guthrie. Okay, I think this might last a bit. I can offer company, like something's blocked off here. I can offer something company, also partnership through something in hotels like Choice, Caesars Entertainment, and Ambient, something or other. If they have you, strong possibility to me, they are keeping her in a partnership hotel. I don't want any money. I just want to find your mom. I know very personally what it's like to lose a parent, and I feel blessed every day to have them safe at home with me. I just remembered that Kale has taken a 23andMe DNA test, and when I was working at Edison, Amanda showed me and her were related through Johnny Ann Hayes, and she is biologically related to Kale somehow. Damn. Did y'all see that? Kale Nelson. I don't have time to look up his Kale is Mina Sedona. Hello, darling. I'm glad you're here. I'm going to do a show tomorrow, Mina. We'd love to have you call or come on. You don't have to show your face. You can just be a icon. That would be very nice if you could do that. Email me or I'll email you and we'll set it up. And we'll check into this more deeply. Okay? Are you down? I'm down. Thank you, Mina Hayes. I appreciate you. All right, guys. Be on tomorrow night with Mina Hayes and MAB Investigates. We're going to dive into Kale Evans, Hayes, whatever the hell it is. Kale something. My memory's not so good with names. Kale Nelson. We're going to get together with Mina and have a discussion about Kale Nelson. Sound good? Tomorrow, be here or be freaking square. Mina and I will figure it out. I guess it's not plugged in. Dang dog. And with that, Mabster is out of here. Peace out. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have a green screen.